to edit this bit out. Where's it gone? I'm just looking for something quickly. Oh yeah. I a new project. So I'm shutting my online Instagram art shop, not the main shop.
Right.
Just because I think you should kill your babies.
Yeah.
But I'm starting a virtual gallery called the Spongelheim. That's the logo for it. Which is we have a different exhibit every other month. Only 21 exhibits per exhibition. And I just call for submission. So if you want to submit some gouache to that.
Oh, brilliant.
And it's just, I mean, whether anyone will go to it or not, but I just like the idea of, just having a gallery.
Because, this touches on something that I've been thinking about how to do, and maybe you'll do it, or you're already doing it, or you'll give me an idea how to do it. I wanted to do an online, not an opening, not like a big, look at this, it's like a big, but it's like the museum is open for an hour on Thursdays at 12, sort of. And people can come in and I will walk them around the museum and the object.
Nice.
It's an event meets a location, meets a sort of museum, sort of, I'm going to talk to you about this stuff. But that sounds like that's what you're doing.
Well, no, this is just, no, I think what you're doing is something different. I just wanted a gallery.
Yeah.
I've been thinking for ages, I'd love to have a gallery. I thought, well, why don't I just create one online? But I'm really interested in constraints.
Yeah.
So
I'll
have it where there is some downtime, where the exhibits are being changed.
Right.
There will only be, I wanted an air of mystery over it. So it's such a simple page. It's literally, that's the logo, which I like because it was just a sketch.
It's brilliant.
And it's just really minimalist. Yeah. But then I like that constraint because it's like, do you know the House of Dreams? I spoke to you about the House of Dreams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Dulwich. I went down there the other week. I could only go in the garden to record silence with a guy. And I mean, that's an amazing thing. It's such an amazing house. But it's only open like 4.
Let's draw about it while we talk.
Okay, yeah. Tell me how this works.
Have you got the Aggie thing open?
Just open it here.
And I want to hear about this. What's it called? The House of Dreams?
House of Dreams, yeah.
Darling.
Hold on. I'm opening the wrong link. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing now. Am I still in Zoom? Yes.
Yeah, should be.
Right. Nice. So I'm going to tile these. Oh, I can't tile Zoom. That's annoying.
Oh, that's got to be it. Okay. Right. So I'm gonna do a little screen grab of the House of Dreams, and we can draw over that, and you can tell me things.
Yeah. That'd be brilliant. So how does this Aggie work?
Well, you see on the bottom right, I'm saying that without actually looking at it, but I'm pretty confident it's the bottom right. There are layers, and so it's rather like Photoshop.
All right, yeah.
And so you just grab a layer and make it yours.
Yeah.
Which is pretty straightforward. And then I'll grab another one and we just muck about. So I'll put this in one of the lower layers and see what happens. Oops. Insert the file. So I have to do that on the menu up at edit. It says paste file. So there we go. I don't know if that's filled the whole screen.
All right, yeah.
So if you then go under view, it says fit on screen, and you can see that the picture I've pasted, it's a bit not perfect. It's totally not perfect, Aggie-O, but it's collaborative. So I've filled as much as I can, but I haven't got it big enough to fill the whole thing. So we've got drawing space on the white area.
Nice.
So where were we? You were saying about the House of Dreams, and you were talking about Spongelheim?
Yeah, the Spongelheim. So yeah, the House of Dreams is this.
Great.
This house.
Great.
It's just, I can draw. That's good. It's just an ordinary house on an ordinary street, but this just belies what's inside. I'm going to draw on the gate. And the entire house is completely covered. You can't see it there, but it's completely covered in stuff.
Oh, great.
found stuff, in mosaics, in bizarre stuff like dolls' heads and false teeth. I'm going to see if I can grab something and drop it in there as I'm experimenting with. Let's have a look here. But what I was saying is the great thing about House of Dreams is it's only open about 4 times a year.
Oh, right. Oh, brilliant. That's interesting, because this reminds me of another thing that is obviously in the back of my mind. I had a guy who's a really lovely guy I was working with coaching, and he collects oodles and oodles of stuff. And he said something about how his home is almost like a museum. And I said, well, why don't you curate it and put up all the stuff?
Yeah.
And open your house once in a while. I don't think he's ever done that, but.
Well, this is what's inside. That's just one of the rooms.
Oh,
I've not got to go inside yet because I went to visit the guy when we were in lockdown. And it's amazing, but I just love that idea of a constraint, of building in the constraint up the front. So if you were to do something, it's only open on these certain times. It's not always open. And I've just come off a talk done by guys at Painter. I don't know if you know Painter, that make jackets.
No.
I'm just trying to work. Hold on a minute.
Book jackets or jackets?
Yeah, jackets. I mean, you'd love this because it's right in line with the
sewing and things.
The sewing, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how to.
Great.
How to draw something.
So on the left there are.
Yeah, I got it.
There's a colour picker, pencil, paint, rubber, and bucket filler.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so Painter jackets, they make a small batch of brilliant jackets, handmade jackets. I don't know how many's in a batch. And they're only available like 3 times a year. And they sort of sell out within 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
And they're custom made. So there's no waste, made with love. And all the sensible stuff would be saying, no, scale it up, make it more available, make more money. But then that's not the point. I think constraint is incredibly important here.
I'm really loving at the moment, because I'm doing a lot of stuff about, my next book's about speaking. And so there's a lot of sort of writing and storytelling in that, although I'm actually currently really focusing on drawing, but I've got it still as sort of work in progress. Oh, I'm loving that drawing. That's great. I love the writing as well. Are you changing the size of the pen?
No, I've used my drawing tablet that I managed to get to work. Great. So when you press, I've not used it much before because I don't like it. I like drawing analog.
What is it? What is a drawing tablet? Is it an iPad?
It's this thing. Okay. So it's just like.
I have to go to Zoom.
It's a pen and like a virtual piece of paper. I don't like it because I much prefer my pen.
Analog.
Yeah, everything I do is analog, but I thought for this it'd be quite nice because I can't draw with a mouse.
No, I find it's too clumsy, but
yeah, this is not. Look, if I press really hard, it does it bolder. I didn't know that. I've not really used it before.
Really nice. What's it called? Can you send me the details of your?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will do. But yeah, that's what I'm interested in at the moment. Is anything? Don't scale or measure. Don't repeat stuff that's successful. It's like the Instagram art shop. It's been brilliant. And then I just thought,
enough.
Yeah, I need to stop it. It's one of those things. I wrote a blog at the start of lockdown that said, if you see everything in the world as only in terms of scale, profit, and survival, then you miss the magic.
Yeah.
And then I realised with the Instagram art shop, it's sort of magic's gone, so I need to stop it. I'm going to draw the Spongelheim logo. So Spongelheim is a I don't know. It's one of those projects. I have about 20 projects, and some of them go somewhere, some of them don't.
Yeah.
But it's basically a weird online art gallery. The
and
constraint is it's open not very often.
Right.
When it is open, there's only 21 exhibits.
Why 21? Just because it was the
Because
number?
it's four, 3, 6, 9. There's 7 rows of 3.
Oh, I see. Okay, great.
I might actually make it 18. I'll wait and see.
I was I got a bit bogged down and I lost trail of my thought. But the thing
I
about
can't draw and talk at the same time, I've
it's
realised.
really hard, isn't it? But the thing I was thinking about with the constraints is that's a real favourite of mine. Well, often, but at the moment, especially, I'm reading about the group. You may have heard of the Uripo
No.
movement, and they were started by a largely French group of writers, and it stands for French words for potential literature. So they created constraints that would make it possible for people to create literature. And one of the most famous members of the group was Georges Perec, and he wrote a book without using the letter E, a novel.
Nice.
And that might, I kind of confess, I always thought that sounded a bit stupid. Like, why would you do that? And it was partly, I now know, because in French, the title La Disparition means the disappearance. And his mother was disappeared during the war and went to Auschwitz.
Right.
So the word has no E in it. And it's the disappearance of the most useful and important letter and of your mother.
Wow.
And so there's a real meaning to it. And I mean, that one is, when I talk about it like this, very serious, but he was a very playful, funny bloke.
Yeah.
And I just think they're amazing how they thought of these wonderful constraints. And one of them is a guy who wrote 99 versions of a very banal story. So a lot of their constraints were grammatical. So you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you've got to put it in the past tense, or you've got to put it in the future tense, or whatever it was. And there's something very exciting about the way they did it.
It's I mean, I used to have a hang up with poetry.
Yeah.
I think the same way that I have a hang up with Shakespeare, it wasn't part of my background or education, and it's irrational.
Yeah.
But I love haiku because
yeah.
it's like this constraint of haiku invites me. I have to let go of whatever preconceptions I have about poetry.
Yeah.
So there is an absolute power in constraint, isn't there?
It's so beautiful. Almost their theory was that for the last however many decades, with psychoanalysts saying, just express yourself, say whatever comes to mind, that actually weirdly everyone just says the same sort of rather boring things, and it's more interesting if you set a constraint. Then everyone has true freedom.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this virtual drawing collaboration.
It's good, isn't it? I thought we needed a dreamer.
Yeah, nice. And in the House of Dreams, it's absolutely worth visiting when lockdown's over.
What sorts of things are in there? Is it?
Well, that picture that I've just put here, it's mainly found stuff. The guy that started it is a guy called Stephen Wright. He started it with his partner who died, I don't know, quite a few years ago. And it's just collected items. So there's loads of old dolls' heads and different. It's all about colour. And one of the things that Stephen says is most of the most colourful things don't come from the UK.
Right.
He said the most colourful thing from the UK is bleach bottles. It's just like sort of bemoaning the lack of colour in our everyday life. But it's just random stuff. There's false teeth in there. There's like records. I've not been in. I've only seen photos.
Right.
But even in the front garden, which is where we recorded the podcast the other week, and you can see here, it's just completely tiled. He also has these memory boards inside, which are just tell the story of his life. I'm gonna have a go at filling something.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
You can vary the density and the opacity and blah, 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 obviously.
I can't. I'm only zooming now. I don't know what I've done.
What window are you on?
I am on that window that I'm drawing on.
Layer 2.
Yeah, but every time I go on it only zooms for some reason. Oh, I know. Yeah, I just don't know how to use my tablet.
Right. Well.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
Very nice, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's it saves as a PNG file at the end. So if you just press drawing and save at any point, you can save that version.
Right. No, it's very nice.
Quite like that about it. And
I like that covering it all up. I don't want to cover it up. It reminds me of an artist that I came across once. They had all of these paintings. And he was doing, I can't remember what studies he was doing, but it's like academic studies.
Right.
And part of it is a PhD in creativity or something like that.
Okay.
And his PhD piece was he painted over every single one of his paintings in white paint. So the painting is underneath.
Right.
Which I thought was
very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
I'm just punching up the House of Dreams words.
Nice.
I thought it said DMC for a minute. I thought, oh, right.
It could say DMC, run DMC.
Yeah.
It's saying OMG. Purely inspired because I'm drawing a, I don't know, you're not on Zoom, are you? But I'm doing a...
I love that. Right, yeah.
It's what dolphins are really saying, and it's all this like completely confusing. I find on Instagram, because bizarrely most of my followers on Instagram are aged like 20 or 18 to 25. When they comment on my work, I then have to go and look up what it means. I'm so old. It's like, is this an insult or a compliment? I can't tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that idea that if you do something, it's like you have to wait for something to open. Again, with the Instagram art shop, people would say, "Can I buy this now?" And it's like, no, you have to wait until Thursday lunchtime and take a chance. You might not get it.
No. Do they get very stressed then?
Yeah. But what happens is when it seems that whenever anyone puts a comment against a piece and says, "Oh, you want to buy this one? Can I have it?" And I say, "Wait till Thursday lunchtime." Someone else always buys it.
Right.
So I think they wait to see those comments. But no, I'm looking forward to shutting it down. I still have my main shop. And it'd be nice to keep getting the income from it. But I just like the idea of shutting it down because it's a counterintuitive thing to do. I can't. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong here. Yeah, nice. So how did you discover this thing?
It was on Instagram. It was the what they call it, the Isolation Art School.
Oh right, okay.
And it was probably their least successful in numbers video, because I think it was a bit too aimed at grown-ups, and they were all it was a bit like blokes down the pub having a laugh. Right. There were 3 blokes playing around with it, and I thought they were really funny and kind of charming isn't quite the word, but they were definitely having a lot of fun. And I thought, I like this. And I just immediately thought it would be a great thing to collaborate with you. And
I watched some of the other ones. It's do you know what it reminds me of? There's that improv game, I don't know if you've done it, with 2 people doing an everyday activity, like washing up or working in a factory, like packing boxes.
Right.
And you do that repetitive physical activity and then have a conversation, but you're not having a conversation about that activity. It's like if you and I were washing up, we wouldn't be saying, "Just washing this dish now."
No.
Well, that is a bit stubborn. And what it does is it frees up,
Yeah,
it sort of silences people's sensor
definitely.
because they're doing this activity.
Yeah, that's what I definitely like about it.
Yeah.
We've got a little appearance from our new dog. Yeah.
Oh yes, I saw. What's she called?
She's called Peanut, and she's on heat at the moment, and so all the boy dogs are getting really excited.
Right.
And I had to carry her yesterday in the heat on the heath because these two tiny little dogs got really excited. I couldn't get
How old is she?
She's 5, and she's just finished being at the breeder. Knew that we didn't really want a puppy, and so Harriet just talked to her, and she said, "Oh, I've got this idea. You know, Peanut has stopped breeding because we can't do more than three litters to get the kennel club thing. And so, would you like to have her? We weren't wanting to get rid of her, but I mean, she's lovely, and and we thought, well, this is a bit of a risk, but we went all the way to Lancashire, and met her, and thought, I hope I'm not moving it around on your screen. I'm just zooming in.
No, it's fine on my screen.
And it was also a tiny bit of a risk because you never know whether she's going to suit us or not. We went for a walk, decided that she was very nice, and came home with a dog that we only just met.
Nice.
A 5-year-old.
Oh, and how's it been?
Really good. She's so well trained. She's got, because her breeder trains police dogs, so there's no knocking about in their house. And so she's very polite, doesn't nick food even if you leave a plate on the floor near her, which is quite amazing. And very affectionate, gives me a very friendly welcome in the mornings and when it's time to go for a walk.
That's lovely, isn't it? The unconditional consistency.
Yeah. And the indignity that we've had to put her through with this being on heat because she's bleeding all over the carpet, so we have to put nappies on her.
Oh, right, wow.
I never imagined that was going to be a thing, but it really is. We really don't have it. There are dog nappies. I mean, we didn't invent this.
No.
I really like this drawing. Yeah, it's exactly like you said. We're not distracted by trying to be good and everything.
Either in the drawing or the conversation. That's the thing. It's both, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I like that initial thing. I didn't know where we'd start, but just I mentioned House of Dreams, and you paste it on there, and then
So this artist friend Joel, who I've been doing them with, we've been alternating our projects, and it's quite a nice way of, because I've got no stake in Joel's projects, but I'm quite happy to muck about, and he likewise with mine, I think. And so there's a freedom and a nice, the niceness of collaboration when you feel like it, and it's really good. I'm really liking this, and it's now 10:30. But I know we started a bit late, didn't we? So
all right, yeah. I'm just going to add this bit, and then
I think this is a real cracker. This is really one of the most wonderful ones.
And I have to send this to Stephen at House of Dreams.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, God, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's only open a few days a year. I think it was all sold out. I mean, it's a shame because it's sort of his main income.
Right.
He obviously can't do it during lockdown.
No.
So I just went when the restrictions were lifted, and we just sat in the garden with masks on. But yeah, when it's open again, it's such an amazing thing. It's just an ordinary street. I don't know what the neighbours must think.
Oh, lovely. I love that so much. There's a house around the corner where there's a guy who's got an archive of advertising material.
Yeah.
Weirdly, considering we're talking about this, just this morning I took a photo on the walk because he's got a gorilla and a cow in his garden. I don't know quite what that's got to do with advertising, but I suppose someone must have used them in an ad or something. So what was this? What's the name of the tailor thing that you were talking about? They were called...
Oh, painter jackets. Paynter.
Oh, it's a like a surname or something.
And was the people that make the jackets? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the name of their company, Paynter, Paynter. It's just like young. They're a couple now. I don't think they started off as a couple that make this stuff. And it's brilliant. I literally just came off the talk that they were doing just now to come to this, and it's just stuff made with love, small scale, limited. Yeah.
Right.
Probably, I'm not sure what the costs are, but you have to go on a waiting list to be notified of the next batch. 3 batches a year, maybe 100 jackets. I'm guessing that, but handmade.
Right.
And like no waste. And it reminded me a bit of your Sew Your Own.
Yeah.
Where it started out of the amount of waste that's generated in the clothing industry.
Yeah. I'm giving your chap a slightly.
Yeah, I just see it emerging.
That's a good logo. How did you come up with the logo, do you think? What was happening in your brain?
I just like drawing that duck.
It's one of your company, your repertory company.
Well, it's originally in Zoom. I'm just showing that was my. This is the difference between my initial draft and final. There's very little difference. That's the initial draft.
Yeah.
And then that's the final one.
Oh, okay.
Is that no different? I just wanted it to be a bit weird, and I like the fact. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. People will read all sorts of stuff into it. And I think it makes quite nice badges and T-shirts as well.
Yeah.
A bit of merchandise.
Definitely. This has been such a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As I knew it would be. Thank you. It's completely and utterly pointless.
Yeah, but that's what makes it brilliant.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's just perfect.
It's the way that you find magic, I think, is in the pointless, in the mundane, in the ordinary. You can't go looking for it.
No. I'm going to just make the beak a tiny bit more yellow. There we go. It's
nice. He looks a bit bruised. It's like he's been through it.
Bruised neck.
Yeah.
That's not right, is it? It'll do.
That's nice.
More pigeony now then.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I don't know if it's a duck or what it is.
It's a duck with a pigeon and a trumpet and an arm and a fist and a logo. Oh, this is great. So if you go on drawing on the top left and then save, it downloads on my browser anyway.
All right, yes, I got it.
That's been great. And we finished just on time.
Perfect.
Thanks, Steve. I hope we can do it again, but no pressure, whenever you feel like it, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's been brilliant. It's been a perfect tonic for the day. Yeah,
it's a real, we didn't actually talk very clearly because I was thinking too much about drawing. Yeah. So but that was good.
Yeah.
Okay, time up.
Cheers.
See you soon.
Bye. See you later.